Hey guys, C-Man235. Well, I'm late. I am extremely late. I figured I'd do this now. I have some of the conferences up right now. I'm going to talk about some of the stuff they showed at E3, and it's about time I finally do this. I haven't seen everything, but I am going to talk about the list of games and what they showed off and the conferences I did see. So, yeah, it's finally time to talk about E3. I consider myself fashionably late, but I'm probably wrong. So with that said, first up is EA, and I have their video up because the list on Wikipedia is not doing me any favors. So I'm going to skip the part where they say that EA is trying to find new ways to innovate because they're fucking lying out of their asses. And let's actually look at the stuff they actually want to show. So, the first thing is Titanfall 2. I am honestly shocked that this is actually getting a sequel, because from what I heard, the first Titanfall was just kind of not necessarily bad, just like I've never played it. I've had no interest, nor do I even have an Xbox One to play it, and my PC's not really good enough to run things. So I know I needed a new computer. Sorry, it's not fun being poor. So, with that said, yeah, Titanfall 2, it's a thing. They advertise single player a lot. Such an innovative feature, I know. It's fucking amazing, guys. Oh, and if you're wondering, just thought I'd mention this, if you're wondering why this is audio only, I have not found a good enough time to actually record myself in normal video. Maybe another time, maybe not, I'm not sure. It depends on when I upload this and when it gets all edited together. Anyway, back to Titanfall 2. Single player looks like single player. It looks like this innovative new feature that they've been talking about, because innovation is such an important thing to them, lying sacks of fucking shit. So, yeah, that's a thing. Titanfall has single player. Fucking beautiful. Great, EA. I'm glad Titanfall has single player. Did you know that Call of Duty and Halo have single player? I know, I'm fucking stoked as well. Like, let's see. What else did they have? Besides Titanfall 2, which is still on there. Oh yeah, they also had Madden, I think. Yeah, Madden was a thing. Yeah, Madden's here. You know, Madden, they have, Battlefield 1, which looked like Battlefield. I honestly never cared for Battlefield. I'm gonna be fair. I know a lot of people like it, and that's fine. I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying I've never cared for it. FIFA is another thing they announced, and that has a story mode. I'm not even... I wish I was joking. FIFA is getting a story mode. I have no idea what to say. That it's getting a story mode. What fucking story? What? Out of all the games to give a single player experience to, why FIFA? Why? Like, I'm not dissing. I'm not like dissing the franchise, kind of, but why FIFA? Okay, story mode, sure, right, got it. Okay, I don't remember that being said in the actual conference, but I do know they're getting a story mode. It's gonna happen. And, surprisingly, this has a lot of dislikes. Anyway, yeah, anyway, Mass Effect, the new Mass Effect game looks like a Mass Effect game. I've never played the series. I know that's blasphemous for someone who is a sci-fi fan, who has seen Star Wars and watched Cowboy Bebop. I know that's like a sin. I never really played Mass Effect, so from what I heard, the reveal itself was okay for most people, but like, I never really like touched it, so I can't really say anything on it. Sorry, I'm not really a Mass Effect person. Just never really caught my interest. One day, maybe. One day I will. But, yeah. EA talked a lot about, like, the esports and the communities and the competitive scene, like a lot of companies are nowadays, so they can bank on the competitive scene. I love how they also brought Zac Efron in it as well. Like, who did they bring? They brought Zac Efron and someone else. They brought two actors that are they were just like randomly in here. They were just like saying like, "Hey, sup." I think they were just there at EA's conference. They were just there for no reason, and that was literally it. Like, yeah, actually, it was in the Battlefield footage. Actually, let's see, EA and yeah, seriously, like what the hell? Like, why were you guys there? Like, either they were paid to be there, or they were just they are gamers as well, and they were walking around, and they just suddenly said, "Ooh, actors! Get them over here! Get them over here!" What the hell? It was for the Battlefield stuff too, so I don't get that. Star Wars stuff looked like Star Wars stuff. The only thing that was interesting about Star Wars was the X-Wing VR stuff, and that wasn't even in EA's conference. So way to blow that. And that's really everything I can think of that was noteworthy of the conference, honestly. Like, oh yeah, they had that really nervous indie developer guy that had the yarn thing. Like, he had the yarn character that was really adorable, and he showcased another game called Fee. Apparently, it's going to be all about music. Like, you can interact with a bunch of creatures in this really, really dark-looking world through music, and it looks interesting. It looks very artsy. Not really into those type of games, but I know someone will be into it, and it's nice. I will admit that one thing that EA does do right is that every once in a while they do sometimes support these rare, obscure things, and it comes out of nowhere and they barely advertise it, but sometimes they do nice stuff like that, to where they actually advertise games that well, not advertise, but they showcase and make games that you just wouldn't expect them to make. So that makes them better than other companies, like, say, well, Capcom for the longest time. Nowadays it's sort of iffy, and especially Konami. Especially makes them better than Konami, because fuck Konami. I'm sure I'll be saying that later on when we get to Sony. Call it hunch. So yeah. And that's really all I can say, honestly. Like, EA was, like, nothing, honestly. EA really didn't have anything. Like, their conference was, like, really short. It was really short. It was, like, an hour long. So, I will say that EA usually is the worst. But this time around, I'll give them this. Like, EA, at the very least, didn't overstay their welcome like they do every other year. They showed sports. They showed Battlefield. They showed some Star Wars stuff that wasn't interesting. They showed Mass Effect, and they showed that really nervous indie developer guy. In fact, that was a common thing with all of the conferences. A lot of the people that were showcasing the games were really fucking nervous. Like, you could tell they were sweating. Even the guy that was actually talking during the Sony conference, like the main guy who was introducing things throughout the entire Sony conference, you could tell he was really nervous, but he sort of became less nervous and a little more confident over time because people were just cheering constantly for Sony's conference. So, that was definitely a thing. With that said, though, yeah, EA, their conference was boring, but short, so I'll give them this. They weren't the worst. They weren't as bad as Ubisoft, because I heard Ubisoft was, once again, really bad. I only watched the 20 minutes of Ubisoft, because the only thing I wanted to hear anything about was Just Dance 2017, which I'm not into the Just Dance series, but I do know it's going to be a game that's actually coming to the Nintendo NX. So at least we got to hear something of the NX at E3. I mean, it's still not much, but it's something, guys. We're getting there. It's just going to take about 5 more years. So yeah, that was definitely a thing. So yeah, next up was Bethesda. Bethesda was the next conference after EA. I didn't really see much Ubisoft, so there's really not much to talk about. Really, the only thing I could talk about really is the Stick of Truth, but because I did see that part, but just kind of like, yeah, I haven't really seen that much. So anyway, let's actually talk about Bethesda's conference and what they showed off. The first thing they showed off was actually a new Quake game, which I was honestly surprised at, because Quake hasn't seen a new game in a while, at least not from what I have heard. So I was actually very surprised they brought out another Quake game. But I guess Doom actually gave them enough of a reason to actually actually make a new Quake game. So that's pretty cool. They're reviving. I always like it when they revive really old franchises that not many people have played in this day and age. And I heard Doom was excellent. I've never actually played it. I'm interested in it though, due to the stuff I've heard about it being really good. So I might play Doom at some point when it lowers in price, because I really don't have the money for it right now. All that money is either going towards Yu-Gi-Oh cards, even though I don't like Konami. But the only thing I like about Konami is Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's literally all they have. If they get rid of Yu-Gi-Oh, then I'm done with them. But yeah. Anyway, back to the conferences. All that money is going towards Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon Sun and Moon, and Kingdom Hearts 2.8. But who knows? I might get Doom at some point, because Doom I heard was pretty good, and Quake looks interesting. Next thing they have was new updates to Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 4. Which, I heard the Elder Scrolls Online was kind of iffy, but over time it's been getting a lot better. So, I'm not really into MMOs, so I'm probably not going to play it. But hey, it's cool that we're getting new content for those games. I'm not a Fallout person either. I didn't really play much of Fallout 4. And we're getting new content, and considering how successful Fallout 4 was, I'm not surprised. So, DLC for those two games, yada yada yada, not really much to say. We also got The Elder Scrolls Legends, which is a card game, apparently. I don't know what to say about it. We also got a bit of news on The Elder Scrolls Skyrim is getting an HD update. So yeah, that's cool. Again, I'm not an Elder Scrolls person. I don't really know what to say. But yeah, I will say the graphical update. I have actually seen Skyrim in action. I have actually seen it. I haven't played it, but I have seen it from a friend, because he was a huge Skyrim fan, and the graphics on Skyrim didn't look that great on the original game, but the new graphics, the graphical update looks significant. So I think it's definitely a good thing that they updated it. And apparently, considering how big the world Skyrim is, the reason why they didn't make a new Elder Scrolls game entirely and just decided to release Skyrim, apparently it would take years to develop a new Elder Scrolls game. So I don't know if that means the series is going to be quietly put down, or if they're just they're working on it, but they're not even halfway finished yet. So I'm gonna guess they're not even near done yet. So so yeah, that was most of what they showed in the conference. There were a couple of other things that they showed off, like they showed off Prey, which was a thing. That looks like a thing. Yeah. They showed off a couple of other things, but I really don't have much else to say about them. All I can really say is, oh yeah, oh that's right, Dishonored 2, that's right, they showed that off too. The demo looked like Assassin's Creed, kind of. I'm sorry if that insults people, but I've never, like, ever touched a Dishonored 1, so I really don't have anything to say about it. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to be saying for, like, half of these damn things. But Bethesda's press conference as a whole, they showed some interesting things. They showed some obvious things that I knew they were going to do, but they showed some interesting things. Their conference was solid. Nothing really more to say. And now we'll head over to Microsoft, which was the now we're just pretty much going to be talking about the big three. So yeah, I'm actually gonna make this a two-parter though, because so for right now I shall see you guys for part 2, which I will create now, but you will see a bit later on. So see you guys then.